Hello friends and welcome back for another season of everybody's favorite game mode. This is my 10th season with Rogue Tech, and we're going to start it off hopefully with a win today. We'll see what happens. We're going to go in with Void and Namor and Symbiote Supreme for our first war of Season 16. And as I usually say, let's get right into it. Alright, so taking a different path this war, taking Starburst, which is path 1. We've got a King Groot, who is a pretty tanky champ, so not a terrible choice for this this node. You can see that our opponents are running Siphon, which was nerfed for this season, thankfully. However, I still believe that it is way too overpowered. In general, I think the defense tactics are awful, and this should be completely reworked or removed. But I doubt that will happen. So, you can see we already took a few hits because I was dumb and I went in after I parried him, for some reason forgetting that he shrugs off debuffs when he has the Furies up, and then I got parried myself. Resulted in some missing health, so not a great start for me. I'm generating Outrage at a pretty nice clip because King Groot is bleed immune. I can also hit into his block if he's being a little stingy like I am when I'm trying to bait his special attacks. That'll return the Starburst damage back to him through his block in the form of energy damage. So the Resonate Mastery is helping to eliminate his Furies here and there, because he'll shrug those weakness debuffs off and remove the Furies in doing so. So one more combo should do it, and I think I get the special attack finishing them off. So not the greatest start. I'm already going to have to use some potions to heal up, but at least we come out of there with the victory. Alright, we're going to take care of this Thing mini-boss on the right-hand side. This is Aggression Armor and something else that I can't remember. I'm going to light boost here. Probably not necessary, but again, this is War 1, and don't want to take a stupid death to a fight that I can probably do in my sleep in the first war. So, especially after how kind of frustrating and stressful and disappointing last season is, I need to make sure to do my part here. Alright, so for this fight, you can pretty much ignore the Aggression Armor. That it's not pertinent to how Void is going to take Thing down. As I usually say, when you can stun Thing, he's a lot easier to deal with. It's much easier to manage his rock stacks. And in terms of how I use Void to take this fight, you'll see I will always only push him to 13 rock stacks and then launch a special attack. Void's special attacks have 2 hits to them, whether you use the S1 or S2. So no matter how much power I have stored up, as long as I keep him at 13, I can manage that effectively. Other than that, it's just a matter of making sure that he is going to launch his specials when I want him to. I don't think I have to give myself some space in this fight at all by hitting into his block. That kind of messes with my rhythm a little bit. Sometimes, as you see there, I'll hit into his block once or twice just to kind of like, I don't know if it resets the AI or it acts as kind of a taunt, but they usually throw their special attacks if you hit into their block a couple times. So you can see the armor is not really doing anything for him. That's because Void's damage is direct damage, so it really ignores the armor. And Void's physical hits aren't really where his primary source of damage is. It's all about the degen. So Thing goes down. We didn't lose very much health at all, so I'm very happy with how that fight finished up. Alright, we're up on section 2 here. We got a Korg on Masochism. So I actually changed my masteries for this fight. If you remember last season, I fought a Nick Fury on this node, and I kept triggering Masochism with the Resonate Mastery with those weakness debuffs. So I actually changed my masteries and just left a point free. Rather than redo the whole thing, I just reset the proficiencies and then left a point free, and then I put it back into Resonate after this fight was over. So in this way, The only debuffs that I could possibly place on Korg is if I attempt to parry him when his shield is down, so I'm really going to play Stun Immune here, as you'll see. Get my ins by baiting out his heavy attack. And then there is a stun component on the SP2, but hopefully by that time he will be dead or close to it, and it won't really matter. Korg is bleed immune, of course, so I'm not going to give him, masochism triggers via that. And in addition to that, I'll be generating a good amount of outrage from the bleed immunity as well. So I'm going to hold off this special 2. Now we're going to go in double medium, launch the SP3, get the first Fury up. I believe his rock shield is active here, so this isn't going to do pretty much any damage, but that's okay. And then we're going to go in, so he should be below a bar of power here, I believe, so I'm going to bait out another heavy, and then by this time I should have, and the timing doesn't work out, so I can't get a second special 3 off, but it's okay because the SP2 is still going to do an incredible amount of damage. And even though I triggered Masochism once via the stun, you can see the last hit of the SP2 finished him off. So another pretty good fight, happy with how that went. Alright, so this is a good example of why the Siphon node is still way overpowered, you're going to see. This is an Annihilus on Buffet. So I brought Symbiote Supreme specifically for this. We're going to pop an advanced power boost just so I can get my SP3 a little faster. The idea here, of course, is to get to my SP3 and then bleed him down before Buffet triggers too much and heals him up. Alright, so with Annihilus, it's, I really, the dodging the SP1 is really still iffy for me. So you see I get tagged by it there, and he's got his block penetration charges up from, hitting into me. Alright, so we're going to fire off this first SP3, and then I think we immediately have to bait a special attack here. And what's going to happen is, eventually I'm going to push him to his SP2, and I'm going to have to block it. And you're going to see why the Siphon node is still so, OP broken. The amount of damage right here. So he immediately fires this off, and he hits into my block 3 times and takes half my health. And that's garbage. That is complete garbage. Alright, so I'm going to special intercept with this SP2 here, get some nice armor breaks plus bleeds on here, and hopefully dodge this SP1. Oh, nope, I'm going to go back in. So dodge this SP1 now, and so there's a Dex, which is also crap. Dexterity in Alliance War is really just an evade that you can't counter. And of course the trigger's there, so a little bit of a butt-puckering moment, but we do get out of there with the full AB, and that fight was seriously annoying. Alright, this is the next morning. We've got a Sentinel here on Buffet and some other nodes that Void doesn't care about. This node doesn't have Indomitable. This is actually an R2 Sentinel. I considered boosting up again, but I figured, since there's no Indomitable node, once I get the Petrifies up and Fear the Void, I can reverse large chunks of his health via that. Did take an SP1, mistimed it there. Not a huge deal. Again, just a few more potions, which is annoying. I hate using potions when it's my own stupid fault. So he's being real stingy with the SP1, so I think I eventually just get annoyed and push him to his SP2 and then dodge that. But in the meantime, we've built up his analysis to near full. Again, as I usually say when I fight Sentinel, I don't really care about the analysis. It helps me cycle his specials a bit easier. I'm not really doing any power draining with Void, of course, so that's the other main benefit. And I don't really care about critting as much with Void either, so the analysis doesn't really affect me. Alright, so we're going to hold our special 1 here because Fear the Void is about to trigger. There it is. And then we've got 1 SP1 ready, and then we can cycle his special and go in right for a second SP1 here, assuming he wants to throw it. There we go. I don't know why I was having such a tricky time with his SP1 timing today. Maybe it was first thing in the morning and I was still half asleep. So you can see Buffet did some nice damage there. Back in with 1 more combo, and down Sentinel goes. Alright, so that's it for Section 1, Section 2. We're on Boss Island now. This is another Korg on Recovery and Strike Back. So Korg has no healing, of course. So really the only thing you have to pay attention to in this fight is making sure that when you fire off your special with Namor, that you are prepared to give him a full extra bar of power. And this can actually kind of work in your favor because I'd much rather dodge his SP2 than his SP1, even though I'm comfortable now with either of them. The other thing I wanted to point out here is that I boosted again. I don't really know why I did that. I finished this fight with like just over half the time remaining, and Namor is a good counter to Korg. It was kind of a waste of a boost, if I'm being honest. So, all right, so we've immediately pushed him to his SP2 here to bait that out. He's being nice and helpful. You can see this Korg is also running suicides, which helps. He's got that permanent poison and he's bleed immune, so the bleed, of course, won't affect him. We're already building up to our SP3, and then we're going to hold it until a point where he has enough power where I'm not going to push him to his SP3. I screw up the SP1 dodge there, of course, and we've accidentally triggered Imperious Rex, which is unfortunate, but again, similar with the other Korg, he's going to die before it becomes a problem. So, all right, we launched our SP2 there. It was unblockable, which is good because he was unblocking. He was blocking because my input dropped. And then he's pretty much on the ropes at this point, so you can see we've got plenty of time left. Definitely did not need to boost here. Bait out one more SP2, and then one more combo, and maybe a special attack will finish him off. Yep, there we go. So again, pretty happy with that. Waste of a boost, but you know, what are you going to do? I'll just have to earn one back later. Alright, and now for the grand finale. I was given first shot against this Doom boss. I'm going to go in here with Void. Void is a good option for most boss fights, unless there is some mechanic in the champion that specifically prevents him from working. And that's because the adaptive node will prevent your physical damage from increasing too much as the fight goes on. But as I said earlier, Void's direct damage means that he ignores all that nonsense. So Void is also a really good counter for Doom because the Petrified debuff will prevent the aura from happening, which will allow you to fire off your specials with impunity. It will also allow you to hit into him without shocking yourself. So you can see I did some medium boosts here, and I also put on an invulnerability boost just in case I mistime 1, 2, or 3 special ones. Sometimes it takes me a little while against Doom to get into the rhythm of evading his special one. So you can see I already screw up the first one, and then that shocks me and he stuns me and slaps me. So we've had enough of a health boost that it didn't really do much. Plus I had the invulnerability boost. So the SP1 and the Doom slap didn't really take any of my health. We've got the Petrifies up early, which is perfect. So now I don't have to worry about the aura at all. All I really have to worry about is cycling his special attacks and making sure that I don't get hit by them. There we go. We get a successful dodge there. I'm just going to keep firing off these SP1s, getting those debuffs to stick. So we got a couple seconds until Fear of the Void hits. So there is a danger of his aura proccing when Fear of the Void is up. So even though Fear of the Void contains the same mechanics, I guess, as a Petrify, it's not an actual Petrify and therefore won't stop the aura. So depending a bit on the RNG, there is a period of time when you have Fear of the Void up when he can get his aura before you get an additional Petrify. Kind of lucked out there. Petrify came up shortly after, so I didn't have to worry about it. I don't think his aura actually procs a single time during this entire fight, so a little under half the fight left, and we are in great shape here. He's got about 2/3 and change of his health left, and I'm pretty much just comfortable baiting out the special attack. I don't need to play too aggressively because the degen is going to do its job as I am trying to bait out his special attacks. Hit into his block a few times, kind of taunt him. That's fine if he wants to back up. The more space I have to work with, the better for me. And yeah, so just that degen, those nice red numbers ticking him down. I use up my last indestructible charge and then pull off an intercept, which is nice. That was a little bit risky. I could have gotten parried there, so again, a little bit lucky. Pull off one more SP1 and nice backdraft intercept. And I think he fires off one more, or maybe the degen does him in. I can't specifically recall. Oh, yeah, one more. And then I think one more combo. And there he goes. So we got a nice boss kill with Void. Pretty happy with that fight. And yeah. So this war was pretty close. We did come out of here without the victory. That's unfortunate. So a little bit of heavy potion usage, 2 and 4 respectively. 7 kills, no deaths, and we take the big ol' L in our first war. So, you know, at least we had 30 people. So that's a good change. So we'll see how this season goes. You know, I said earlier, the last season was really frustrating, really stressful. I'm trying not to get too discouraged. So we'll see where the season takes us. And glad you're along for the ride, so hit that like button. Let me know how your first war went. Subscribe if you want to see some more Alliance War goodness from me. And that's about it, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.